afternoon, Colony. My name is the Colonist, and welcome to another edition of CIW. Today, we have our No Countout match between the Antarctic Mafia and Salt N Peppa. This should be a solid matchup, I would say. These two teams have had a ton of animosity between each other over the past 2 weeks. It first started out with a countout victory from Salt N Peppa. Then it was a countout victory last week by the Antarctic Mafia. These two at each other's throats all day, every week. So I figure it's only appropriate to have a no countout match, so no garbage is going to take place. That's the goal. So hopefully there's going to be a lack of bullshit in this. But you know what? Anything can happen. This is CIW, and CIW's been known to have its bullshittery in its time, as has any wrestling program that's ever been out there. I mean, it's really just part of the game. You know, no pun intended, obviously, but you know, that's part of the business. That's just the way it works. And so these two definitely going to put on a good match, I would say. This time, no countouts, so there's going to be no 10-count victories and none of that garbage that we've seen in pretty much every tag team match ever. These two teams at each other's throats. Hopefully this no countout match will resolve the conflict. But as always, you could be wrong. But hopefully this will be the end of it. And Michael Corleone and the Penguin, who have made a very interesting team. But they've done a good job at it. I mean, they have been a very different team of late. One of the new teams after Noob Smoke got separated, we had Michael Corleone and the Penguin just kind of join together and be like, hey, let's be a tag team, seeing how we're both from New York. Although Michael Corleone from the 3 New Yorks instead of just 2. As the Penguin's only from 1. And speaking of Corleone, here comes Michael Corleone.
The following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, from New York,
Michael Corleone, the man of 3 New Yorks, looking to represent here tonight. And I would say that Corleone, it's interesting because Corleone, this is the legit Michael Corleone. It's not when he was doing his underground stuff. And then he allies himself with the Penguin. So it's an interesting set of, as a tag team, it's an interesting pairing of these two. But they are from New York. They both were involved in underground activities at one point or another. And speaking of the Penguin, here comes the Penguin.
from New York, the villain.
So, the Penguin, and I had Joshua Campbell, shout out if you're watching, point something out interesting. Remember, he was mentioning in the Penguin match, the one that I mentioned about the dudes who do things to fruit. And he's like, well, I bet that's what's in the Penguin's bag. So the Penguin, so we have now established, we now know what's in the Penguin's bag. It is apparently penis-penetrated fruit, watermelons particularly, with dick holes in them. That's what he carries around. That's our Penguin. And then, hence the crotch shot, literally every time he gets in the ring. Which still is just like, come on, man. You gotta do something better than that. But the men who are facing them in this no countout match, apparently DX representatives, here come Salt N Peppa.
And the opponent, The Rock, from California, Evan.
So the DX enthusiasts, Dave Chappelle and Eminem, and these two are ready to go. I mean, you've got Dave Chappelle, who's really, I mean, you haven't seen him in comedy in quite some time. I mean, he left his own show, and then the first time he appeared back up, CIW. And then, what's funny is then, like, 3 months later, like, as soon as he came back to CIW, he made his first return on, I forgot what late-night program, but he had Dave Chappelle in it. And go figure, it's because he got his popularity through CIW. That's what this is all about. Eminem, who, and oh, here's a fun fact about The Colonist, which you would never guess. I can actually recite word for word. I can karaoke The Real Slim Shady. And if you don't believe me, Ask me, and I'll do it for you once. But it has to be live, otherwise, because I don't want it taken down or anything like that. I don't want to have to go through that. But, and seeing how the real Slim Shady is actually Eminem, and the person we have is the fake Slim Shady, and more crotch chops, bangity bangity bang, crotch chops, DX, all over the place. I wonder if Triple H or Shawn Michaels knows that Dave Chappelle and Eminem do this. Because they're DX enthusiasts, but I wonder if they actually know that they're actually using the same moves and they're doing the same thing. Potentially. I would say it's definitely possible that they are. And this always cracks me up. But you know what? It's kind of fitting of the two. I feel like this entrance like really is good for them. Like it's really the best tag team entrance for Salt and Pepper. And but yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. Eminem has got to be like the most respected rapper ever. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. People who really paved the way, like you talk about Biggie and Pac and stuff like that, like they definitely have garnered a ton of respect. But look at like someone who was ballsy enough to step into the rap game, say what he really said, and the fact of what he's done for rap and what he's done, and the fact that he like kills it literally every time he raps. He's going to be one of the most respected rappers, the real Slim Shady Eminem, on the planet. And I have a ton of respect for the guy and what he's done for rap music in general. And like that most recent thing he just did, Monster with Rihanna, solid work. I mean, he's in his 40s now, and he's still got it. He's still got the same thing he had when he first started out. But that doesn't really matter at this point because we are watching, not that Matt, we're not watching the real Slim Shady, we're watching the fake Slim Shady, who's going to start it out here with Corleone. And here we go. And a kick to the gut, countered by Eminem. Referee Kevin James assigned to the contest. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Kevin James usually... And you know what's interesting? Is that it seems like these two only compete in the Velocity Arena. I just thought that was a very interesting thing. We are actually in Waco, Texas tonight. And we thank you all for joining us here from Waco, if you are from there. If you aren't from there, welcome anyway. We're not going to take it personally if you're not from Waco, Texas. I found it interesting, the reception that the Penguin got, which usually he gets a bad reception, but that was kind of worse than usual. Oh, and the Penguin totally botched in an accidental side slam to his partner, completely accidental, and now Kevin James giving him the business for botching, and now it looks like Salt and Pepper going to take advantage of that. And now both men in the ring, and Michael Corleone holding his own. Nice almost side effect there by Michael Corleone. And the Penguin now with an atomic drop onto Eminem. The two Corleone and Chappelle on the outside. Now everyone's spilled out. This is just completely combusted here. No more order in this match. I mean, there's no countouts, so they can really do what they want. And it looks like it's going to be a suplex by Michael Corleone, maybe? And I'm not really sure what he's doing. Oh, an inverted suplex. And down goes Eminem. And the Penguin and Dave Chappelle going at it, but Chappelle aiming for Corleone. Seems like Salt and Pepper are kind of avoiding the Penguin. Which I guess is... I don't think that's the greatest strategy, considering he is the heaviest. But I think they probably realize that they're not going to be able to lift him. So they might as well go after the guy who they can lift. So I guess it makes sense. But the Penguin really not one to be ignored. Because in the comic book world, he's been ignored his entire life. And that's why he came to CIW, to really make a name for himself. Prove why he is one of the better villains in the comic book world, in the Batman world. And a nice hammerlock and an over-the-head takedown by Eminem. And Eminem just punching the Penguin, straight up punch. And now Dave Chappelle with a Fujiwara armbar. No submissions on the outside. There's no countouts, but you still have to pin him in the ring. And a big boot. Holy cow, what a big boot fight from the Penguin onto Eminem. Dave Chappelle and the Penguin now going at it. Corleone. And, oh, now Dave Chappelle bringing the Penguin to the steel steps and now bashing his skull. Shot after shot to the Penguin. Under those unforgiving steel steps. This match is completely combusted here. No order in this tag match at all. And now on the same steel steps, Corleone attacking Eminem, and now we've got just a plethora of steel shots, to the steel steps to the head of the Penguin and Eminem, who both stopped that at relatively the same time. And Dave Chappelle and the Penguin outside the ring. Michael Corleone and Eminem got inside the ring, now are no longer. And now Penguin going back in the ring and a clothesline to Eminem. These four teams, obviously a lot of animosity here. This is not just a regular matchup. This isn't just a respected team tag match. And now the Penguin sweeping Eminem from the ropes. And a clothesline to Dave Chappelle from Michael Corleone. And now look at this. Just stomps from the Penguin onto Eminem. And the Penguin now with a big slap. And down goes Corleone by Dave Chappelle, who looks like he's going to go for a backbreaker. And, oh wait, what's going on up here? The Penguin, who's taken the empty announce table and put Eminem on top of it. Oh, what's the Penguin going to do here? Penguin setting up for something. Oh, wait a minute. No way. Oh my God. Holy crap. A Penguin plunged through the table. Eminem might be dead. Eminem might be legitimately dead. And now wait a minute. Barbed wire bat by the Penguin. Kevin James trying to stop it. I don't know if he's seen what's gone on between these two. I don't know if he's seen the barbed wire bat. This is a disqualification match, and the referee calling it. Kevin James calling for the disqualification. Ring the damn bell. And he's still waiting on it, and oh, there it goes. And this is going to be a DQ. And that's going to do it, I guess, for this edition of Colonial Impact Wrestling. Your Alsno tweet of the day. Dad, what does ignoramus mean? I have no idea, son. Probably some type of dinosaur. So thanks for that. We'll see you next time, folks.